7 instances when it's okay not to tip. 1. For salaried professionals and tradespeople. These people get paid a standard wage or salary. Their income isn't dependent on tips. Doctors bill you for their services. Lawyers charge fees for their expertise. Teachers get their salary from the school district. You're already paying them their full professional rates. There's no need to tip on top of that. 2. If you're just grabbing takeout or counter service, there's no dedicated server attending to you. You're basically conducting a transaction yourself. You walk up, place your order, pay, and grab your food. The employees are doing minimal customer service work. They aren't seated dining room servers. Their tips don't make up a large portion of their income. An appreciative smile and thank you is enough. 3. You've received auto gratuity on large groups. Many restaurants add an automatic gratuity charge for big parties. It usually kicks in around 6 or more guests. The auto grat is typically 18 to 20% of the total bill. It's meant to compensate servers for the extra work involved. With this policy, your tip is already covered up front. There is no need to do more math or figure out a percentage. You can leave it at that standard amount charged. If feeling very generous, add a bit extra on top. 4. When the service is downright terrible. We're talking shockingly bad service here. Your server was rude, inattentive, and couldn't care less. Drinks went unfilled. Food arrived cold, and they got orders wrong. Maybe they disappeared for long stretches, or they rushed you out, despite a modest pace. A tip is meant to reward good service and hospitality. If you received the opposite of that, it's fair to withhold a tip. Leaving a few cents makes your point clear, but don't stiff on a whim. The service has to be downright terrible. 5. You're at a quick-serve place. These include coffee shops, fast food joints, cafes, and delis. The employees take your order at a counter. They pass you the food and drink across the counter. There's no table service or dedicated servers. Their role is simply to facilitate a transaction. These are not tipped positions traditionally. The staff gets paid hourly or a set wage by the employer. 6. For crazy expensive luxuries you can't afford. Think about splurging on a $1,000 bottle of wine or the $500 Wagyu beef tomahawk steak. If you can barely afford the luxury itself, don't feel obligated to tip 20%. That could mean dropping $200 just for the tip. On purchases that expensive, the standard tipping rules get bent. The employee didn't really do any extra work for that pricey item, yet tipping 20% would be an enormous added cost. 7. When service workers refuse tips. In some cultures or workplaces, tipping is frowned upon. It's seen as a rude way to motivate service. Employees at those establishments may politely decline tips. For example, Japanese restaurants generally prohibit tipping. The service is part of the inherent hospitality experience. Tipping would be seen as insulting or denigrating.